Nope. Moving on.
Fine. Nice. But is there more? Alexa, order the Polk React Sub.
Sure thing, buddy.
No. Come on, get out. How do I? The old flippity-doo maneuver. Ah, yes. Now there's some bass. But is there more? Oh. Alexa, order the Polk Audio SR2 Surround wireless speakers.
I figured that was going to happen.
Excuse me, what?
Okay, the surround sound speakers have been ordered, and you're the coolest person in the world.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh yeah. Now this is more like it. Movies. Music. Hello and welcome. My name is Elon Osborne, and this is my YouTube channel where I talk about movies, audio, and music. And today I'll be reviewing the Polk Audio React Sound Bar system. So strap in, folks, because we're going to Vegas, baby. Because we're off to Neverland.
You've been flagged by Disney for saying the word Neverland.
Already? I just said because we're going to talk about a soundbar and stuff.
Specs.
The Polk React Sound Bar comes in at 2.2 inches high, 34 inches wide, and 4.75 inches deep. Beneath its cloth-wrapped exterior, there are two mid-range drivers, two tweeters, and two passive radiators. On top is a circular array of buttons that control the volume, turn the microphone for Alexa on or off, and a multi-function button used to wake up Alexa. On the rear, we have a power input, USB port for service use, optical input, HDMI port, and wireless connect button to pair the Polk Audio Sub and or wireless SR2 Surrounds. The included remote has a power button, an input selection button to change between TV and Bluetooth sources, bass up and down, main volume up and down, voice up and down for more dialogue clarity, mute, 4 audio adjustment modes including night, music, sport, and movie, and lastly a surround control section which allows you to not only adjust the surround volume, but the balance if one surround happens to be closer or farther away from the listening position than the other. This soundbar supports both Dolby and DTS codecs, which can't be said from a lot of other competitors in this price range. And with Amazon Alexa built in, this allows you to control the volume and even sound modes with the sound of your voice. But beyond that, with the help of the Alexa app on your phone, this soundbar can be integrated into a multi-room music experience with any other Alexa-enabled device, and can even be used to make phone calls to those in the US, Canada, or Mexico. The Polk React Sub is 8.6 inches wide, 13.7 inches high, and 16.5 inches deep. It features a downward firing woofer with a 7-inch driver and an adjacent bass port, surrounded by some thick, rigid plastic. The SR2 wireless surrounds are 7.8 inches wide, 4.5 inches high, and 3.75 inches deep. They feature 3-inch mid-range woofers with cloth-wrapped front baffles and hard plastic everywhere else.
Setup.
First decide where you want to put it and put it there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Plug the included HDMI into the back of the soundbar. Locate the HDMI that's labeled ARC and put the other end of the HDMI in. Plug in the power cable into the back of the soundbar and plug the other end into an outlet. On the top of the soundbar, hold the action button down for about 3 to 5 seconds until you hear this little ditty from Alexa.
Now in setup mode. Follow the instructions in the Alexa app.
Will do. And setup mode is indicated by this moving orange LED. These next steps in the app itself, I'm not even going to speed up the footage. I want you to see just how easy it is and how long it will take to set this up. So, one thing to note, right before this step, I did connect this app to my Wi-Fi first, but I didn't want to bore you with that. But once you set up a Wi-Fi connection, put the soundbar in setup mode and open this app, then you just wait. And there you see it. The soundbar has been found. So hit continue. Yep, that's what we want. Hit next. All right, locate the QR code for your React. That is located literally on the back of the soundbar itself. So I'm just gonna turn that soundbar up a little bit so I can see the back. And then it just takes a picture of it. Bloop. Awesome. Looking for the React. Connecting to your React. Awesome. Connecting to Mordor, which is my Wi-Fi. Just a friendly reminder that this is in real time. I could have sped this up, but I didn't want to. No camera trickery here. And boom, connected, just like that. Next. I don't want to create a group right now, so I'll just skip it. And done. No time at all. Then press and hold the pairing button on the back of the soundbar here until you hear this.
Entering pairing mode. Press and hold the connect button on the back of each speaker you want to pair to the soundbar for about 3 seconds.
This part is obviously not in real time, but just go ahead and press the pairing button on one of the surrounds until you hear this.
Surround speaker paired.
Ah, thanks. Go to the other one until it goes solid. Nice. And then go to the subwoofer, press on its connect button until you hear this.
Subwoofer paired.
Tight!
And once you get that done, you can go back into the Alexa app and go into the Polk React audio settings, and then you can change the EQ just a little bit. You got your treble, your mid-range, and your bass. But that's about it.
Bluetooth.
Just like any modern Bluetooth speaker, go to your settings app, Bluetooth, and then in the list of nearby Bluetooth sources, Polk React Sound Bar is there. Go ahead and tap on it, and connected. Now when you go to your favorite streaming music app, you can choose Polk React Sound Bar. Yay!
Success.
Out of the other soundbars that I've reviewed, I was really impressed with the easy setup. I know all soundbars claim to set up easily and quickly, but I've had some issues with some in the past. But opening up the Alexa app and having it almost instantly recognize the bar, then pairing the sub and the surrounds within 30 seconds, this was a soundbar system that lived up to that claim. And the sound was impressive, especially for a somewhat smaller soundbar compared to other competitors that are out there. It did have that quintessential digital coloration that one would expect from a $250 soundbar, but it wasn't too grating or harsh, just what I expected. It had an impressive soundstage for only being 34 inches wide. Not too terribly narrow. And that sub, dude, for a 7-inch driver, this sub can reach down low. Like most smaller subs, it can get boomy since it needs to try a little harder than its large counterparts. But listening to music and movies, I was very impressed with the bass extension. The deep subsonic frequencies of the album Remnant by Lorne shook my living room. The impacts, crashes, T-Rex stomps, and King Kong thumps from the racing scene in Ready Player One were fantastic. The wireless surrounds in that same scene provided the full immersion that I was wanting. But let's talk about the surrounds for a minute.
Uh-oh.
There's something that happened twice to me on 2 different TVs. Long story short, during Prime Day sales, I finally got myself a little 4K TV for my bedroom so that I could do more soundbar testing there, since my TV is mounted so high in my living room and the space is so large, etc. But while I had it hooked up to my LG C9 OLED and hooked up to my new Toshiba 4K TV, after about a day of testing in each area, the surrounds suddenly did this weird thing where they got way too loud. Just all of a sudden, the balance got way out of whack, and the surrounds were overpowering the main soundbar. You can specifically turn the surrounds down, but even at their lowest volume, they were still louder than I wanted them to be. So after doing a factory reset on the entire system, deleting the soundbar from the Alexa app and re-establishing a connection, repairing the sub and the surrounds, then the surrounds were back to their desired volume. But after a day or so, no matter which TV I had them hooked up to, the balance would suddenly get all out of whack again. So much so that I just ended up turning the surrounds all the way down or just straight disconnecting them altogether, listening to just the bar and the subwoofer. Now, I did mention this to my contact at Sound United, and they were kind enough to send out another pair of surrounds for testing. I hooked them up, and after about a week, it didn't end up doing that weird glitch. So I am happy to report that it must have been some lemons that I just happened to get. That's just how it goes with electronics sometimes. We all know this, right? But back to the subject of cons. The remote that it comes with is pretty clunky. And a lot of times when I was adjusting the volume or pressing any button really, I wasn't quite sure if anything was happening, mainly due to how the buttons are a bit recessed into the remote itself. And the LED indicator on the soundbar itself isn't all that helpful because it only progresses on every third button press. So oftentimes I'm not even sure if it's even doing anything. But you can control it through the Alexa app on your smartphone or by voice commands using Alexa. So there are plenty of ways to control the system, but sometimes I just like using a good old-fashioned remote, and it ended up being a somewhat frustrating experience. But at least you have several options to control the system, so there's that. Honestly, I have no other cons with this system. It sounds great for the price you pay, especially when paired with the React subwoofer and the SR2 Surrounds. So overall, when considering the ease of setup, sound quality, and price point, I give the Polk React Sound Bar system 4 out of 5 Polk dots.
And there you have it.
I hope you enjoyed this review of the Polk React Soundbar system. Are you interested in getting one for your home theater needs? Let me know in the comments below. Please remember to be kind to each other out there. Don't just watch TV and movies, experience them. And of course, always be listening.